Okay, so I made a mistake. A few videos ago, I mentioned I was reading a book, Horrorscape. Then I corrected myself on screen and said it was Terrorscape. Turns out I was wrong both times. The actual title is Fearscape. It's the first book of the series. Here's the one that I'm reading, Fearscape by Nenia Campbell. And I'm gonna read the description. It says he followed her because he wanted to own her. She trusted him because she wanted excitement. There's a saying that curiosity can kill, but Valerian Kimball is beginning to learn that satisfaction might just be worse. 14-year-old Valerian lives in an age where anti-heroes and bad boys are portrayed as the romantic ideal, and good guys are passé and boring. So when Gabby McCosey, the school's brilliant but twisted loner, begins to show an interest in her after a chance meeting in a pet store, Paul is intrigued. Is charming and poetic and makes her feel things that she thought were only possible in books. Fear. Because somebody is stalking Val. Somebody who wants to hurt her, own her, possess her, maybe even kill her. As her meetings with Gavin unravel into a more complex and frightening relationship, Val can help but wonder if the new boy in her life is her depraved and excessive stalker, and whether he's capable of murder. Time is running out. So, by that description, what do you think is happening? What do you think is gonna happen? My dumbass, thought this was a dark romance. Why? Because I was reading a lot of dark romance at the time. And I really thought this was a freaking dark romance. It is not. Full warning, I am telling you right now, this is not a dark romance. Do not go into this book thinking that because you're gonna be horribly disappointed. The first time I read this, I was a little bit traumatized because I was like, are you kidding me? I invested all this time. This is a three-part series, right? This is a trilogy. We have Fearscape, we have Horrorscape, and then we have Terrorscape. And apparently this was meant to come out in 2020, or it came out in 2020. What is this about? It's been 1 year since Val beat Gavin at his own game. She's buried her life and her old name, but memories from her dark past dug her at every corner. And some of these memories have teeth. The public wants her blood, her enemies want her life, and Val just wants to forget. So she escaped to the city where even the hunted can blend in with steel and concrete. But dead bodies don't stay buried, and hanging paws can be promoted to queen. Interesting. Anyway, so I don't know what happened with Fearscape or why it's not showing up here, but that is the first book of the. Now I cannot even find it. No, wait. Fuck off. How did I lost that shit? Okay, going back to this one because I don't know why that is not showing up on her page. But when I read this, as I said, I thought this was a dark romance and I was traumatized to find out I spent all that time reading all the three books. I had not seen that there was a third book at the time. I did not, yeah, I did not read that one. I got a fourth book. That one I didn't was not published by the time I read this one, so and now I'm trying to reread it because that twist, although I was not expecting it at the time and it was not my taste, now I'm kind of a little bit more into it. So I decided to give it another try to see what I thought about it. And at first I was very into it. Like very, very much into it. And full disclaimer, up until this point is gonna be the spoiler-free version, I guess you could say. And the rest I'm just gonna spoil. Also, I guess I should have said that before I read the description of the fourth book, but whatever. I decided to give it another try because I'm way more into the premise now. Like I mentioned in the other video, I thought it was 100 pages. This is apparently less than 300 pages. It is 289 pages still. I'm at 76%, which means I probably have like 50, less than 50 pages left to finish this book. And I still, like, we're still here. I think the reason is because I was very into this book. Like, I was flying through it. I was hooked. I started reading this on April the 2nd, and I took a break from reading that one, and I continued reading this. Let me see. I continued reading this. Oh, would you look at that? So, yeah, I started reading this on April the 2023. Did not finish it again on April 2023, but then picked it up again on April 2025. And yeah, 220 out of, yeah, I have like, what, 50 pages left in order to finish this one. I picked it up again the 22nd of September. And like I said here, I was very into it. Teens are weird. Love the not romance aspect because that's what I was looking for in a book at the time. To not be romance. Because romance sometimes like dries me out so much. Like it's so like I love people being happy, but there's such a struggle with romance. Like when people are trying to establish a romance in a book, there's always a struggle that kind of annoys me sometimes. So I think because a lot of that stems from miscommunication, and I'm a very direct person when it comes to my relationships. So I started reading this the 22nd of September, very into it. I had so many thoughts, and the reread was so much cooler because I only remember the highlights. But then, like I said, I got to 76%, which is right when she's starting to investigate who her stalker could be. She decides to go to the house. She starts reading his journal, and that's when I have to take a break, and I have not been able to pick it up since. Because the way he expresses himself is so disturbing. It disgusts me in such a level that I just cannot handle. Like, let me see if I can find some of. Do have the book here, and I'm gonna force myself. Yeah, I'm at 159 out of 210. Apparently, that's what it shows up on my iPad, but I do have a bigger iPad, so over a female, no less. That's the one, the last one that I highlighted because that really sums up the type of person. There is such, listen, people are gonna debate this a lot. We associate, psychologically speaking, we associate females with animals. We don't associate females with people. We associate them with animals. We associate women with people, but not females. A lot of people are gonna be no, like no. When scientists are talking about these things, they're talking from a clinical standpoint. They're compartmentalizing their knowledge, and scientists will not be going around calling people females. They will call them women. There's ethics in here, and it's one of the things that they always tell you. It's like you have to learn to differentiate your field of study from your real life. They cannot get mixed up. That's the last one, the last highlight that I did over a female, no less. Because I feel that really sums up. Oh, actually, this is 77%. So, like the way he was expressing, he started. This is literally, I think, the only chapter that we get from his point of view, and it starts with, "I saw two lions mating today," which I don't know if you guys like. I literally was talking about this. How like a lot of people that I met in college came from private Christian schools or private religious schools. They were not shown health class videos. Like they did not take health class. They were not shown those mating videos, like pregnancy videos. They none of that. They did not know any of that. Like basically a lot of health things that they just were brushed off because they were not those things were not explained to them. And I was talking about that because there's a lot of things that people said it's like basic knowledge, and it's like no, it's not basic knowledge unless you have some additional knowledge related to it. Anyway, I'm going on tangents, but I feel that explains so well the reason why I feel so disgusted by him. The way he expresses himself is like literally, with that, I can literally just, no. He doesn't see her as a human being, he sees her as an animal, he sees her as a prey, which it is mentioned multiple times before, but such an interesting way. The way you refer to other people says so much about you. You know what he reminds me of? The Alpha Bros. They always want to use these animal kingdom terms like, oh, we are animals, and this is the mating call, and this and that. And it's like proof, like, it's like there's no proof that any of that has ever worked. He reminds me of that. Because the quote where he says over a female, no less, he's talking about another guy that is interested sort of in the same girl as him, Valerian, and they lock eyes in class, and he says locking eyes is considered aggressive in the animal kingdom. This is not the freaking animal kingdom. I mean, technically it is, but it's not. Because we're fucking human beings. And that should be the difference. Animals base all of their actions on instinct. Humans base their actions not only on instincts, but on thoughts, on consciousness. They have to analyze things. And that is the difference between animals and humans. And I know it's a book, but it's driving me insane because I know there's people that literally think like that. And it disturbs me so much. Because there's a reason why we are not called animals. There's a reason why we domesticate animals. There's a reason why we are called human sapiens, like Homo sapiens. Not only are there genetic differences, but there are like intellectual differences. There are physical differences. And I want to finish this book. I really, really do. But it's so freaking hard. The antagonist makes me disgusted and makes me disgusted. And I just have to push myself really, really hard. But I will update you because You know, how many do I have left? How many pages do I have left? I have 4 chapters left, so I should really push myself through it because I do need to finish another book for this goal, for this year's goal. So okay, I just picked up something weird. He mentioned previously when they were talking because she asked him about his relationship with his mother, which, funnily enough, he's Spanish, but he's from Spain. And he mentioned that he actually loved his mother, he had a good relationship. But over here, when talking about the fact that he received a letter from her and one of his sisters is getting married, he says there is too much of her bitch mother in her, referring to Ana Maria, her sister, which is the least favorite of his sisters. There's something there's something about people's, like, kids exploring their sexuality that makes me a bit uncomfortable as I get older. Okay, finally, I finished the book and just forget everything that I said previously. I'm gonna give it 5 stars. No, it was amazing. I think very few books can evoke this many emotions, and for it to be a less than 300 pages horror book, it was amazing. Like, wow, I am shook at how underrated it is, to be honest. This is a horror book that can happen in real life. There's nothing scarier than that. Something that can happen to you, and that can happen to anyone. This is a cautionary tale in a way. Can feel like. So yeah, it's fantastic. The way the fact that I was so disgusted by the antagonist's point of view is proof that it was written in a really good way because I could literally see that thought process belong into someone, and it's so disturbing. If you experience something similar, it's so triggering in a way. Yeah, it was fantastic. Give it 5 stars. I'm planning on reading the other two, or maybe even the other three, because I do know that there's another one that I have no idea was released, but I am going to read that one too. So, do I recommend this book? It is tough. This is, like I said, this is not a dark romance. This is a cautionary tale. This is a horror book. Like, be aware that this has very sensitive topics. This is, like, in the last 80 pages, it becomes sort of unhinged in a way. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but just be prepared to be triggered, be prepared to be disgusted, and to have to confront some things about life. Yeah, it was an amazing book for me, and I'm so glad that I gave it a chance and that I did not actually DNF'd it, because the ending, wow, made it so worth it. Like, it was so sad, so heartbreaking. So, but something that happens more often than not, and literally the Cassie trial proved it. Which I think is the most popular case, but sadly, not the first and not the last. So, yeah, thank you for watching, I guess.